Welcome to today's lesson on importing and exporting data with Pandas. We will practice reading and saving data in different file types. These skills help you work with data in real-world projects. Importing and exporting data in Pandas, Intermediate Beginner Lesson. In this lesson, you will learn how to import and export different types of data using Pandas, CSV, Excel, JSON, and SQL formats. Working with these formats is essential for real-world projects in data science and analytics. Running the cell now. Ready to get comfortable with data files? Let us begin. Let us set up our environment by importing the warnings library and suppressing warning messages. Then, we load the Titanic dataset, a real historical dataset about passengers. We import the warnings module so we can hide warning messages. Here, we suppress warnings for a cleaner experience. We are loading the Titanic dataset from a public URL. Pandas library is imported with a short name. Import numpy as np. We set the random seed to 42 for reproducibility. This line points to the dataset's address online. The read_CSV function loads the CSV file into a Pandas data frame called df. We print the shape, which tells us how many rows and columns the dataset contains. Printing the first few rows gives us a quick peek into the data. Running the cell now. This output confirms that the Titanic dataset was successfully imported from a CSV file, with 891 rows and 12 columns, including key features like passenger ID, survived, P-class, and age. Notice how the head of the data frame shows the first 3 passenger records, demonstrating that the data is loaded correctly and ready for analysis. This step is crucial in understanding how to read external data into Pandas for further processing. Try changing the URL to another CSV file to see how Pandas handles different datasets. Next, let us talk about reading CSV files. CSV files store data in rows and columns, separated by commas. Reading a CSV file. CSV, comma-separated values, is one of the most common file formats for tabular data. Pandas makes it simple to read a CSV file and work with its contents. Running the cell now. Let us see what happens if we want to load a similar dataset directly from our computer. Suppose the data file is saved on your own computer. You use a similar approach, but specify your local file path. Here is how you load a CSV file that is saved on your computer. You might need to change the location of your file to match your computer. Uncomment and modify this if you want to try your own data. This prints a small preview of the loaded data table. Running the cell now. In this section, we learned how to load a CSV file into a data frame using pd_read_CSV. Although the output is not shown here, the head 3 function would display the first 3 rows, giving a quick glimpse of the data's structure and key columns. This step is essential for confirming the file loaded correctly and understanding the initial dataset before further analysis. Pick a small CSV from your files and see if you can load it with Pandas. You have imported data. Next, let us export your changes, or results, back into a CSV file. Exporting data to CSV. After cleaning or analyzing data, it is common to export your data frame back to a CSV file so you can share results or use them elsewhere. Running the cell now. Let us walk through the basic steps to create a new CSV from your data. Now, let us write our data frame back to disk as a CSV file. This command saves your data frame to a new CSV file named Titanic_preview.csv. Setting index to false tells Pandas not to write row numbers. A success message confirms the export. Running the cell now. This output confirms that the cleaned or analyzed data frame has been successfully exported to a CSV file named Titanic_preview.csv. Notice that by setting index equals false, the code avoids including row numbers in the saved file, keeping the data clean for sharing or further use. This step finalizes your workflow by preserving your work in a widely compatible format. Try opening the file after running this. What do you see inside? Let us practice with Excel files, which are very common in business and science. Importing Excel files. Many real-world datasets come in Excel format, .xlsx. Pandas lets you easily open spreadsheets and select which sheet to import using pd_read_excel. Running the cell now. Let us try loading a sample Excel file using Pandas. We are downloading an Excel file and loading it directly into Pandas. Set the web address of the Excel file. This line tells Pandas which file and sheet to open. The resulting data frame contains the sheet you selected. Print the shape to quickly see rows and columns. Show a preview of the first few rows for orientation. Running the cell now. This output shows that the Excel file was successfully loaded with over 525,000 rows and 8 columns, indicating a large dataset. The preview highlights key columns like invoice, description, and price, which are typical in retail transaction data. This confirms the code's intent to import a specific sheet from an Excel file and inspect the initial structure for further analysis. Can you find another Excel file online to try this method? You can also save your results in Excel, which is great for sharing with people who use spreadsheets. Save the first 10 Titanic passengers to an Excel spreadsheet. Index is omitted for a clean table. Confirm the export so you know it worked. Running the cell now. This output confirms that the first 10 rows of the Titanic data frame have been successfully exported to an Excel file named Titanic_preview.xlsx. Notice how the code uses _excel with index equals false to save the data without the row numbers, keeping the file clean. This demonstrates how you can write selected data back to Excel after importing or processing it. Try opening the Excel file. Do you recognize the column names and data? More and more, web data is stored in JSON format. These files are popular when working with APIs or web scraping. Reading and writing JSON data. JSON, JavaScript Object Notation, is used for structured data exchange between applications and web services. It looks like Python dictionaries, which makes it a great fit for Pandas. Running the cell now. Let us see how to import and export JSON with Pandas next. Let us create a sample data frame and export it as a small JSON file. We start by building a simple dictionary with names and scores. Convert this into a data frame. Export the data frame to a JSON file with a special layout. Now, a JSON file with 2 records is created and ready. Print a message to confirm the file creation. Running the cell now. This output confirms that the data frame with 2 rows, each representing a person's name and score, was successfully exported to a JSON file. Notice how the code uses the records orientation and line delimited format, which is ideal for storing each row as a separate JSON object, making it easy to exchange structured data. This step demonstrates how Pandas seamlessly integrates with JSON for data storage and sharing. You might open the JSON file and notice it looks similar to a Python list of dictionaries. Now, we will import the same JSON file you just saved. Read scores.json back into a new data frame. The arguments tell Pandas how the file is organized. Printing shows the data loaded as a table again. Running the cell now. This output shows a data frame with 2 columns, name and score, and 2 rows of data, verifying that the JSON file was successfully read into Pandas. Notice how the data maintains its structured format, with each record neatly aligned as a row. This illustrates the key benefit of using pd_read_JSON to easily convert JSON formatted records into a tabular, analysis-ready format. Try modifying the JSON file by hand. What happens when you reload it? Let us move up to databases. You will learn how to load data from a SQL database into Pandas. Importing data from SQL databases. SQL, Structured Query Language, databases are used for storing large amounts of data. Using Pandas, you can connect to a database and load data via SQL queries. Running the cell now. Let us try this with an in-memory database for safety. We will make a temporary SQLite database and write a table into it. Then, we use SQL to select passengers under the age of 20. Explain that we are creating and reading from a temporary SQLite database. Import the SQLite3 library for database access. Create a temporary in-memory database in your computer's memory. Write the first 5 rows from the Titanic data frame into a new database table named Passengers. Build a SQL query to select name, age, and sex of passengers younger than 20. Execute the SQL query and read the results back into a Pandas data frame. Print the filtered data frame to preview the young passengers. Running the cell now. This output shows an empty data frame with the columns name, age, and sex, indicating that the SQL query ran successfully but found no passengers younger than 20 in the data. This highlights how filtering directly in SQL allows you to retrieve only relevant data subsets from the database. It's important to verify your query conditions and data to ensure meaningful results when importing from SQL. If you know SQL, try modifying the query. Otherwise, notice how SQL and Pandas combine here. Now, let us export your scores data frame to the same database. Save the data frame as a new table in the database. If the table already exists, replace its contents. Confirm that the export worked. Running the cell now. This output confirms that the data frame df_sample was successfully saved to the SQL database as a table named the scores. It indicates the intent of the code to export data from Pandas into the database was completed without errors, ensuring your data is now stored and accessible via SQL queries. See if you can read the table by writing another SQL query. Real-world data files may not always open smoothly. Handling file encoding and errors. Sometimes, files use different character encodings or are missing data. Pandas can handle these cases by specifying extra parameters when loading files. Running the cell now. Let us try loading a CSV with special settings. Some files, especially international data, are not in standard encoding. Latin 1 encoding helps with these cases. Explain what the following lines of code do. Start a try block to handle potential errors. Assign the CSV file URL to a variable. Read the CSV from the URL using Latin 1 encoding to handle special characters. Print the first 2 rows of the data frame to check the data. Catch any exceptions that occur during reading. Print an error message if reading fails. Running the cell now. The output shows an error indicating the file could not be found at the specified URL, resulting in a 404 HTTP error. This highlights an important point: when handling files, specifying encoding is vital, but you must first ensure the file path or URL is correct and accessible to avoid load failures. Try reading the same URL with encoding set to up for 8. What changes? It is your turn to try. Pick any local data file, read it, and explore. Practice. Try importing your own data. Now is a great time to experiment. Import any CSV, Excel, or JSON file you have. Explore it with df.shape and df.head. Running the cell now. Share your attempts or any errors below the YouTube video, and let us know how it goes. We will pause and let you type a file name for a CSV file to read. This way, you can test any data you want. Explain that the user will import a custom CSV file. Prompt the user to enter the CSV file path. Start a try block to attempt reading the file. Read the CSV file into a data frame using the provided file name. Print the shape of the loaded data frame. Print the first 3 rows of the data frame as a preview. Start an except block to catch any exceptions during reading. Print an error message describing what went wrong if reading fails. Running the cell now. This output shows an error because the file path sample_data.csv could not be found, highlighting the importance of providing the correct file location when importing data. The lesson encourages exploring your own files with df.shape and df.head, so double-checking file names and paths ensures successful data loading and exploration. Experiment with a few file paths. See what error messages you get with missing or badly formatted files. Let us finish with some best practices. Wrapping up, best practices. Always check the shape and a preview of data after importing. Watch for file encoding errors and missing data. Use clear, meaningful file names when saving your work. Take note of where your data came from and how you exported it. Running the cell now. What is one tip you want to remember? Great work practicing basic file I/O in Pandas. Let us wrap up. Thank you and next steps. Practice importing and exporting different file types from this lesson. Subscribe to the channel for more Pandas and real-world data skills. Leave a comment sharing your biggest takeaway or any challenges you faced. Running the cell now. Which file type do you want to master next? Subscribe for new lessons each week.